Welcome to Locally Sourced. I'm Armanda Famiglietti. Tonight, my guests are two local candidates who are running for Putnam Valley Town Board. Let's find out who they are and why they're running and why you should vote for them. Welcome, Anthony Williams.
Thank you so much,
and
Armanda.
Ralph Smith.
Nice to see you.
I'm so glad you folks came out on this rainy morning and to talk to us. I'm going to start with you, Anthony. So tell me, why are you running for Putnam Valley Town Board, and what are your qualifications?
Well, once again, thank you so much for having me here. I'm running for Putnam Valley Town Board because I care, and because we need definite change right now in our town. As far as my qualifications go, I'm a husband, I'm a father of 6. I've been in our community for many years, and I've been working behind the scenes for these past several years. Currently, I serve on the Putnam Valley Planning Board. I serve on the Putnam Valley Library Board of Trustees. I'm with the Political Advisory Committee, which is the group that brought the Salvation Army back to Putnam County, and I am the representative on the Putnam Valley side of the county. Additionally, I do work with the Historical Society, the Business Network, and basically I'm also on the Facilities Advisory Committee that oversees some upcoming projects with our elementary, middle school, and high school as well. So I've had an opportunity in the past several years to see some of the undergoings and some of the behind the scenes within our town board, and I've seen the activity and the inactivity, the action and the inaction. And I'm definitely here to make a change. I have some concrete ideas that I think can release the burdens that are affecting everyone from our seniors, our veterans, to our youth, and our working class, and everyone in between. So that is why I'm running.
Well, you are one busy man. 6 kids.
Yes.
That's what stuck out from that. Also, that the Salvation Army left Putnam County and now they're back?
Yes, they had a presence many years ago, and then there was a divide. They dissolved. They had a strength in Peekskill where they remain and have a facility. And right now we are part of the Westchester Putnam Salvation Army. But we are in the process of securing a building within the county. I'm also looking to secure some space on the western side of town, which would be Putnam Valley as well, so that we have a presence there. We do things such as the Angel Tree Networks. I actually do intakes for people to be able to get Christmas toys and food during the holidays, as well as we send people to camp and other things.
Oh, that's really great. Congratulations on doing all that civic work for your community.
Thank you.
So you're no stranger to running for office, though. You ran in another election a few years ago, and you did very well. You didn't win, but you did very well.
Yes, in 2017, I ran for the Putnam County Legislature seat for District 2. That was my introduction into the political arena. I was in the race for approximately 5 months. I was going up an incumbent who'd been in politics since '92, and I garnered 47% of the vote. So as a relative unknown, I did have a strong showing. Wow. And I've had a chance to grow from that experience, and I'm hoping to bring that knowledge into this position.
You're a veteran, Anthony. So what are your 3 or 4 top priorities for Putnam Valley if you get on the town board?
Okay, well, I have 4 main concerns, or I'd say categories. The first is to provide some tax relief in our town. I mean, that is, I think, the biggest issue across the board. I think that that goes across, political party lines or anything else. Right now, our seniors are being outpriced in town. Our taxes have risen tremendously. We've been ineffective in staying under the tax cap, and we need to make a change there. The second thing that I'm concerned about is doing economic revitalization within our town. Currently, our commercial tax base is extremely limited, and we need to make some changes and some improvements there. And it starts with reworking our master plan and moving on from there. The third thing that I'm interested in and working with, and it's always a top priority, is the health and safety within our community. There are several issues that are prevalent and affect everybody within our town, and they run along the lines of the opioid crisis and mental health issues. In a previous life prior to being on Putnam Valley, I served on the Southern Tier Mental Health Association's board, and gained a good amount of knowledge there as far as how mental health issues impact a community as a whole. And so these are things that I want to collaborate with our various services that we have within both the town and the county as a whole to bring some improvement and to possibly even write some bills to help some of the issues that affect us. And then the fourth that is extremely important, not just on a Putnam Valley level, but on a global level, is the Climate Smart Initiative. Putnam County and Putnam Valley have committed themselves, as well as New York State, to being a climate smart area, and but now we need to actually do some actual work to make that happen, and I have a plan to put in place to make us more climate smart community.
That's terrific. Sounds like obviously you've really thought this through and you're coming ready to hit the ground running once you get elected,
yes,
right?
Definitely.
Now let me get back to taxes, because that's always like number one when you live in an area that has such high burdensome taxes. Do you have anything like specific that you can tell us now that you would do to help relieve those taxes?
Well, there's obviously a couple of ways in tax relief. You can either number one, improve your infrastructure, improve your commercial base to help balance some of the ways that taxes are distributed. I know one of the things right now, we don't have a huge commercial base, and we do a trade-off. Our sales tax actually goes to the county right now, doesn't come into town. But one of the things that we're not doing is pursuing grants. We're not pursuing a lot of monies, federal and state aid and other programs that could actually allow us an opportunity to have some things in town that aren't taxpayer funded. One of the ideas that I have is to bring a local development corporation into our town. That would actually help with our nonprofit base. We have a lot of small businesses in town that are maybe home-based businesses. We have a strong arts community that could be supported there. I'm also looking to promote the assets, the natural assets of Putnam Valley, and let people know what we have there. In addition to that, I have some innovative ideas that would directly tie our local businesses into tax relief. There's a program that, if elected, I would hit the ground day one. I haven't given a lot of specifics yet, only because necessarily didn't want it stolen, but it does involve a tie-in with our residents using our local restaurants and services, and it actually having a direct benefit. If you shop Putnam, shop locally, it will actually have a definite impact on your property taxes.
So tell me a little about Oregon Corners. That's your business district, right?
Yes, it's our business district, and it could be much better. Now, we do have a few new businesses that have come in there, and that is awesome. But we also have a recurring issue of what I like to call zombie businesses. We have several empty storefronts. Actually, we have empty and ugly buildings at all entrances to Putnam Valley, and that's something that our real estate agents mention often when they have to show people properties. But we have right now a need to change some of the laws and some of the loopholes that, for example, allow business owners that own the actual properties but don't live here, and basically have been using the loopholes to take tax breaks for the last 10 years. So they can basically, 10 years at a time, basically not rent the business and just write it off as a tax loss. So it's profitable for them to keep the building empty. We have to find either new laws, new ways, or new incentives for them to rent those buildings so that they can be utilized and add to the base in our community. And then there are, I have some other things as well that I would bring to downtown to actually drive traffic to our business district, because that's another issue in and of itself. We don't have direct traffic into Oregon Corners. So even if you have a business there, a lot of times it's only the residents of Putnam Valley that are left to support or sustain it. And sometimes that model is not necessarily effective. But if we can do things building upon our natural assets and providing other resources that will bring people from other parts of the county and from outside areas to come and visit Putnam, then they can also support the businesses there as well and keep them going.
Right. Well, you know, Putnam Valley is blessed. It's gorgeous up there. And
Yes.
it's absolutely beautiful. So that brings me quickly to my next question, which is that Putnam recently approved the what's it called? The Climate Smart
Climate
Town.
Smart, yes.
Is Putnam Valley a Climate Smart Town?
Currently, it's Climate Smart in name. There are some things that have been done to start that. There is a very strong environmental lobby there, which is good and active, because obviously this benefits not just us, but our children and our children's children. But there are some concrete things. I actually have a plan to make a Climate Smart Putnam. I'm looking at a Go Solar initiative. I'm looking at some potential geothermal projects. I have an idea to actually, like one of the things that I would do that would be both a tie-in to Climate Smart and our business district would be to bring electric car chargers down into our business district. If you were to put a few electric car chargers in there that could be funded via grant, so it wouldn't cost the taxpayers anything, but as more and more people are starting to go toward electric cars, now they have a place to charge. So they come there, they charge their car for an hour, and now they're going to our local restaurant and having a meal for lunch, or they're going to, the local store, and also spending some money there. So it's another reason for people to come across town. That's an example.
We're almost out of time with your segment.
Okay.
No, it's great, and that sounds like a great idea, by the way.
Yes, I have more where that came from.
Yeah, I want to get an electric car, and my biggest, thinking about that is, well, where am I going to charge it? I can't. But anyway, so thanks for that. That's
Not
great.
a problem.
So as I said, we're down to the last minute. So can you just look in the camera and tell the Putnam Valley voters why they should vote for you?
Well, I need you to vote for Anthony Williams, not for myself, but for the future of our town. We need to revitalize our infrastructure. We need to seek out monies. We need to update our master plan. We need to go to work. Right now, our board is stagnant. You need some new blood on that board that's going to go out there, that's willing to make collaborative partnerships, strategic partnerships, work with the resources and seek out the resources that are available, go after them, and bring them to the town so that we can have a better Putnam for all. Thank you.
Anthony Williams. That was fantastic. I almost wish I lived in Putnam Valley so I could vote for you.
Come on down.
The taxes are too.
We're going to change that.
Okay, all right. Enough levity. I just want to remind people that there are going to be a couple of candidate forums where both of you are going to be appearing. And if the viewers have, more questions for these folks, as well as all the other candidates who are running for the Putnam Valley Town Board, and also I think Justice, I think Terry Raskin's going to be there as well.
Yes.
So I've got that on the screen, Monday, October 21st at the Peekskill Community Center, and Tuesday, October 22nd at the Putnam Valley Middle School cafeteria. Both of those, one is at 7:30, in Peekskill 6:30, at Putnam Valley Middle School cafeteria. Thanks so much, Anthony. And now I'm going to move on to Ralph. And Ralph, actually, I skipped one more announcement that I was going to make, so do you have patience with me for a minute? I wanted to remind people that New York State has early voting. Early voting, no excuse for not turning out to vote, because October 26th through November 3rd, just go down to the Putnam County Board of Elections, it's right here on Old Route 6, 25 Old Route 6, and you can cast your vote. No long lines, no saying, oh no, I'm going to need an absentee. No, you're not going to need an absentee if you're not going to be here on November 5th. There's no excuse. Everybody should go out and vote. It's considered an off-year voting, so it's really important for people to get out and vote. And October 26th is a Saturday, so I'm going to go vote on October 26th on a Saturday because I just think that's so cool that I can go and vote on a Saturday and I don't have to worry about it. So, Ralph, right. My apologies for that. So I'm going to ask you the same question. Why are you running for Putnam Valley Town Board, and what are your qualifications?
First of all, I want to thank you for doing this. Thank you to all the crew for coming here and doing this. We know that this is an effort, and we appreciate it. And I know Anthony appreciates it as well. And so I just want to say that in case we run out of time. I always say to Anthony when we go to these events together, thank you, Anthony, for taking all my talking points as we do this. But we joke about that, but it is true that Anthony and I share very many of the same views of what we're doing. You're asking why I'm running for town board and my qualifications. Well, I am a longtime resident of Putnam Valley. It's 32 years in Putnam Valley. I have a wife and a daughter and a corgi dog and 2 cats there. And I do love Putnam Valley. I taught in the school district for 28 years. So I'm pretty familiar with everything in and around Putnam Valley. Priming me for this type of job, however, though, I was a union leader in the teachers union for many years. I had the honor of being the president of the teachers union for a couple of different stints. I was the chief contract negotiator. I was a political action coordinator and a grievance chairperson. And when you think about those jobs, those are adversarial type jobs. Those are jobs where you have to work with people who might not necessarily share the same point of view that you have, but you have to work through your differences, find a common ground, and go forward together. And I've had a lot of experience with that. If you ever negotiated a teacher's contract, you would know that up close and personal. So I learned the concept of, within business, using the teamwork you learn when you participate in sports and the like throughout your life. You have to use teamwork in business also. After retiring, I ran for the Board of Education, and I've served 2 terms there, 3 years each term. And also there, I saw great advances in programs there. I was very happy about the progress that we were able to make there. And at the same time, we kept costs underneath the tax cap, unbelievably improving the programs while analyzing and working to keep costs under the tax cap every single year. By the way, the town has not been under the tax cap. It's been under it once in 8 years, the town. So you can probably see with that information, when I looked at the town management, I thought that there was a place there for improvement, and decided to move into this arena, this political arena, and give it a try, and I hope I'll get the opportunity to do that.
So, Ralph, I went on your website before the show. It is fantastic. I think you've got like one of the best candidate websites I've seen. There's so much information there, and it's so thoughtfully put together. So I really congratulate you on that.
Thanks.
And speaking of taxes, on your website it says that the Putnam Valley town taxes have increased 10.7% over 6 years. That's an alarming trend. What can you do on the town board to stabilize or reverse that?
Well, thank you for the compliment on my website. I was not the web designer, but I appreciate that. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get information out to people. I'm a data and research person. I want facts out there. And that's what I do. I'll be honest with you, people want to have you on social media nowadays. I don't find that debates on Facebook are very productive. I would prefer to give people information on my page. You can visit it if you'd like at ralphsmithforpv.com.
Ralph, we actually have it on your
Oh, that's wonderful. And You can get a lot of information there, as well as contacting me. I'd be happy to talk with anyone via email or in person to give out that information. You mentioned taxes. It's a very common concern, not only of people in Putnam Valley, but people everywhere in the area. And it goes beyond the basic complaint of my taxes are too high. Believe me, I don't come running in from the mailbox saying, hey, great, we got our tax bill today. Nobody likes to pay taxes, but we have to live within the laws and the rules where we do live. However, the question that people ask me then is, what are my taxes going toward? What kind of programs, et cetera, are we paying for with our taxes? So I analyzed the last 6 years, and I found out that there was, in the town, a 10.7% increase in my taxes, and my wife will tell you we haven't done any improvements on our house, okay? At the same time, the school board that I was working on, the taxes only rose 4.8%. That's half of what the town taxes have done. It's no good. You can't do that. You can't go over the tax cap year after year. And I have some bad news for the people of Putnam Valley, that I went to the town board meeting last night, and the preliminary taxes were a 3% raise. You know, this is serious stuff. People are saying, I can't afford to stay in my house. You know, people don't want to hear, well, you can move to Florida, Mississippi, or Alabama. They want to age in place. They want to stay with what they know, where they want to live. This is why it's so important to stay under the tax cap. That's why we did it on the school board. And I say we because I'm a team player. And that's what we have to do on the town board. We have to get below the tax cap and keep our costs there. By the way, good news for people in Carmel. They somehow came up with a 1% tax increase. Why can't we do that in Putnam Valley? I'll be honest with you. When I pointed this out last night at the meeting and how there was a fund balance that could correct this, I suddenly saw there was an emergency executive committee called for after the meeting. So I'm hoping that our town board, the current one, will see the light, as they usually do after Anthony or I bring something to the forefront, and somehow bring down that 3% tax that they're considering. We are running against two other candidates and who are incumbents. Those candidates have been paid in their 7 or 8 years on the board over $100,000 in salary. I don't see how they can justify. Frankly, I wouldn't run again. If that's me, you won't see me back here running again, because I don't see how you can justify raising people's taxes while you are getting paid to do just the opposite, is to keep their taxes down. So
let me move on first.
Please do.
You're making
Please do.
a very
Please
good
do.
point about the taxes. I can see that you're passionate about that issue.
do.
That's great.
Please do.
But you mentioned the town board, the current town board, several times, and on your website I saw a very interesting story about the Mackay lawsuit, and I didn't know anything about this until I read it on your website. Can you give a brief sort of description of what that's about and how it costs Putnam Valley taxpayers?
Well, I'll say this, it's a sort of sad chapter in Putnam Valley's story, and I'll give you the skinny because we don't have hours to talk about it, but basically the town board member who was running for re-election,
Mr. Mackay?
Yes, was sued for slander by the head of our building department. And Mr. Mackay found it proper to accuse him of taking bribes, among other things. Now, I'll just present this to you and your audience. If you thought the head of one of your departments was taking bribes or something, what would you do? You might go to the town supervisor immediately and report it. You might seek out the sheriff's department or the district attorney. You might confront the person. Mr. Mackay felt it was the best idea to go to a bar in Peekskill and bring this up and declare this in front of several people who are actually associated with our town, who came back and pursued this, because nobody wants something like that going on in their town. Well, the head of the building department sued him for slander for $2 million. You know how those numbers get flown around. But a settlement has been reached for $17,000 paid to the head of our building department. And I know that that gentleman is not interested in the $17,000. He's interested in his reputation. That you cannot tell lies about a person and do that. That is not a part of a conducive environment in a town. Town board members, Anthony and I, you have to work as team members supporting the town workers. These people are working hard for the good of our town, and they don't deserve treatment like that. Anyway, that is just a symptom. I want to look forward. I want to be a team player in our town, work for the good of everyone. Believe me, when I was on the Board of Education, I didn't agree with everything everybody said, nor did they always agree with me. We had disagreements, we had arguments, but you know, you can disagree without being disagreeable. We debated things, and we frequently had to come to agreements to go forward, and that's what we did. There's no time when anyone on the Board of Ed went down to a bar and declared that the other person wasn't somehow doing crooked things. This is not how we operated, and that's not how the town board will operate. I certainly will not tolerate that if I'm on the town board.
Thank you. That's quite the story, and you're right. It's a really sad story. It's an important story for the voters of Putnam Valley to know in terms of the kind of level of scruples and ethics that the people on the town board have. You've been endorsed by many different organizations. So how do you account for that? How do you appeal to so many different opinions and organizations?
Well, that's a great compliment to me that I've been endorsed by many. And you're making it hard for me to be humble, but I have been endorsed by the Democratic Party, the Conservative Party, the Working Families Party, many other groups. I'm not going to list them all, but I'm going to say this, that as I said while working as a union leader, if you work to bring people together rather than to polarize them, that's what they're interested in. You know, people have been polarized too much in today's society, and I think they're getting sick of it. They feel somewhat manipulated by that. I'm interested in what brings people together. People in Putnam Valley love Putnam Valley. They love the nature. They love the environment. We have to protect that. They are concerned about how their taxes are being used. They're family people. They're hardworking. They go to work each day. They're very hardworking. They love the town services. Parks and Rec does a phenomenal job in Putnam Valley. The library, the fire and ambulance, the historical society, the Tompkins Corners Cultural Society.
Ralph, I have to interrupt because we're out of time. But I did want to. This is an important question because I hear it all the time. You're both Democrats, even though you've been endorsed by different parties. Are you both radical socialists?
Not at all.
You're not?
No.
Because, okay, that's good, because I was listening to C-SPAN the other day, and the callers, the call-in show in the morning, and everyone kept saying that Democrats are radical socialists. I've been a Democrat for many years, never met a socialist or even a radical socialist, any kind. So just want to get that out, folks. That is just a big fat lie.
I'm a Putnam Valley neighbor, and I know you ask, why should people vote for you? I'm not in this for photo ops. I'm not in this for money. I'm a Putnam Valley neighbor, and I want to serve the people of the community.
Right, as we all are. We're all neighbors first. So thank you both for coming. It's a pleasure. I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
I'll think about moving to Putnam Valley if you folks are on the board. I want to thank the crew and, of course, the people who view. And I just want to remind you, get out and vote.